Hey everyone, really quick, before I get to the Oreo O's, you could expect an extra video to go up on this channel this Friday. It's actually not even about business, but it's not too far off from what you've come to expect on this channel. So if I've sparked your interest, be on the lookout for it on Friday the 13th. Oh well. Alright, that was it. On to the cereal. Oreo O's are back, everybody. To some of you, this is terrific news. And to others, I'm sure you're hearing about Oreo O's for the first time. If you're not familiar, it's an Oreo-flavored cereal that started in 1997 and was discontinued in 2007. And now, in 2017, it's back on the shelves. So, for the future, check your calendar, and if it's a year ending in a 7, there's probably something major going on with this cereal. It's actually been available since June 23rd. It was brought back exclusively at Walmart for a 3-month period, and I suppose now is available at other locations. But I'm a little skeptical about how available it actually is. On the Post website, there's a store locator where you put in your location and it tells you the nearest place you can find a specific cereal. So, the brand I want is Oreo O's. The flavor is Oreo O's, I guess. I don't want to reveal my zip code, so I'll put in the only other zip code I know. And then a 40-mile radius. And I get nothing. No specific locations, it just tells me to go to my nearest Walmart, Schnucks, Hy-Vee, and ShopRite stores. See, when I change it to Honeycomb, I get a whole list of locations. When I put in my zip code for the Oreo O's, I got the exact same result. So I tried going to my nearest Walmart, and it was in fact there. So I recommend you try your luck as well. Now, I want to take a minute to convey how big the cereal was when it first came out. Today, we have Golden Oreos, Oreo Cones, Caramel Apple Oreos, Reese's Oreos, White Fudge Oreos, Oreo Churros. I could be here quite a while naming Oreo products. But in 1997, there were only a handful of them, and anything new that came out was a big deal and was expected to last. When Oreo O's came out, it wasn't a limited edition experimental product that we see so much of today. It was thought to be a permanent addition to the cereal aisle, right next to the Lucky Charms and the Frosted Flakes. For 10 years, this was one of the major cereals. At that time, you could go to any supermarket and expect to see it. So, the fact that it was taken away and brought back is something to talk about. If you search Oreo O's on YouTube, you'll find videos with Doug the Nostalgia Critic and Lamar Wilson sampling them after their return. Actually, sorry to get sidetracked, but something about Lamar's video is a little puzzling. He says he bought it online because he couldn't find it in stores, and the box they sent him was apparently expired because it had this expiration sticker on it. The sticker says June 3rd. The release date of the video was late August, and from his reaction, I'm guessing the video was filmed not long before that.
Why did they send me an expired...
Now, for one, it says Best Buy, like the store, rather than BY, like it should say. But for two, the cereal wasn't even available before June 23rd, so how could it expire 3 weeks before it's even available? The only explanation I have is that there's some kind of error involved. But please let me know if you have any other explanation for it, because I'd like to know. There's actually a lot of questions surrounding this cereal. Like, why was it discontinued? Why is it back? And how did an Oreo cereal even come to be in the first place? Though it may not seem like it, all these questions have very complicated answers. Let's start at the beginning. How did an Oreo cereal come to be? Well, there's 2 parties needed to make it happen. As I revealed earlier, the cereal is made by Post, but then of course the people from Oreo need to be on board as well. So I'll ask you, in what way were Post and Oreo able to join forces to create this cereal? Is it A, Post owned the Oreo company, B, Oreo owned the Post company, C, Both Post and Oreo were owned by a company that I know primarily as a company that makes macaroni and cheese, or D, there was an agreement made between the two separate companies? The answer is C. In 1997, Kraft was the owner of both Post and Oreo. Oreo is milk's favorite cookie, and what else loves milk? Cereal. And since Kraft had a cereal division and a cookie division, it only made sense for the two to come together. But let's stop a second and think about this. What are the odds that the people who owned Oreo also owned one of the top cereal brands? I think it's safe to assume that if this wasn't the case, Oreo O's would have never existed. So that explains the miracle of their existence. On to the next question. Why was it discontinued? For the answer to this one, I'm sure we could simply go to Yahoo Answers. Here we go. Already found it. Why did they discontinue Oreo O cereal? If any of you remember, came out with Oreo O cereal in 2007, discontinued it. Can you tell me why they discontinued it? Alright, 4 people answered it. Let's see the best one. Because it's bad for ya. Alright, Yahoo Answers didn't come through for us this time. The answer is actually a little more complicated. Remember how this cereal needs both Post and Oreo in order to exist? Well, in 2007, Kraft got rid of Post, and the pair needed to produce the cereal no longer existed together. Kraft still had the rights to the Oreo name, but the rights for the cereal recipe were out of their hands, meaning Kraft could legally make a new cereal using the Oreo name, which may be difficult since they no longer had a cereal division. And Post could still make the Oreo O cereal, but they couldn't call it that, or use the Oreo name in any way, which would make marketing much more difficult. Without the two companies existing together, it was just difficult to make the cereal exist. Now for the third question. How are they back? Well, like I just said, Post could legally produce an Oreo O cereal, they just couldn't call it that. So just last year, they gave it a try. It was branded as Malto-Meals Cookies and Cream, and it did so well in sales that it enticed Kraft to enter a branding deal with Post, meaning Kraft gave them permission to use the Oreo name. The 2 parts necessary to make this cereal a reality were together once again. I just want to make a quick note at this point. I did a lot of simplifying throughout these explanations. Really, Oreo is owned by Nabisco, as it says on the package, and Nabisco is owned by Kraft, but that division now goes by Mondelez International since a split a few years ago. My point is that everything I said in the video is accurate, but if you do some research on your own, you may run into something that seems a little inconsistent like this. So just keep in mind that I did some simplifying to avoid confusion, because trust me, it can get confusing. This video would also feel incomplete if I didn't mention that, oddly enough, during most of their absence, Oreo O's were still available exclusively in South Korea. It has to do with Kraft acquiring a South Korean company that had licensing agreements with Post. I don't want to get into it too much, but that's why many of the pictures you see look like this. And that's why, when you search for it on YouTube, you could also find videos about it dated before June 2017. These people ordered it from South Korea for what seems to be around $10 to $20 per box. So, though it was technically available, it wasn't practically available. A true fan may place an order or two to relive some memories, but I doubt many people were making this a weekly thing. The cereal available in South Korea has marshmallows in it, as did the one available globally as of 2001. However, as for the original cereal, as well as the cereal available today, there are no marshmallows. So the one they brought back is sticking true to the original. Here's where I speculate that maybe back in the day, this cereal wasn't doing all that well. In 2007, when Post left Kraft, there could have been an agreement formed that allowed the cereal to continue, in the same way that an agreement was formed this year. I'm guessing the cereal didn't have great sales, and wasn't worth the effort to keep it going. And also the marshmallows. In 2001, they added marshmallows to it. Why would they do that if sales were high? To me, it seems like an attempt to attract more people. It appears to me that when it came out, it was a bit of a novelty, of which people eventually grew tired. I remember eating this cereal a while ago. I don't remember much about it, but I know it didn't have marshmallows in it, so it must have been before 2001, likely in the 90s, around the time it first came out. And it seems that almost any article I read about it refers to it as a 90s cereal and talks about how 90s kids are going to be so happy about it coming back. The cereal ran for 11 years, only 3 of which were in the 90s. I think this is further evidence that it was big in the beginning and slowly lost momentum. Plus, the fact that they're bringing back the version without the marshmallows, the 90s version, makes me think that they're trying to capitalize on the good memories people have associated with it from when it first came out. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my theory. Do you think that this is a legitimately good cereal or just sort of a marketing gimmick? When they sell it today, are they drawing their sales from the product itself or the people's memories of the old product? And do you think it'll last another 10 plus years, or will it slowly die out as I suspect it did before? Who would have ever thought that there'd be such a complex story behind this simple cereal? If you have any thoughts regarding the beginning of it, the discontinuation, or the comeback, leave them in the comments. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching.